Hi, I'm Magda Saleh from Abrar Educational Center, and the title of my presentation is Engaging Stakeholders in Co-Creating Solutions During a Crisis. In this presentation, we are going to look at the objectives and purposes of the study that I conducted at Abrar Educational Center, the background behind this study and the methodology used, the findings that we got from the stakeholders' input, the results analysis, until we reach the conclusion at the end of this study. So the purpose of this study is to investigate the impact of implementation of visible thinking routines on different schools, stakeholders' engagement to co-create solutions during a crisis. We assume that involving stakeholders in problem solving in times of a crisis is unavoidable, and we put a framework to address this issue. We analyze the different perspectives of various stakeholders and take into consideration their suggestions in order to help them at arriving at a decision. This study raises two main questions. One, what are the stakeholders' view on returning to school during a crisis? Two, what is the impact of visible thinking routine in promoting stakeholders' engagement in co-creating solutions for a crisis? So in order for you to understand better what crisis we're talking about, it's the Lebanese crisis, and that has gone beyond the COVID-19 and the pandemic. It has more than one dimension, and it is threatening education in Lebanon. It all started in 2019 when the school year began with disturbance in learning and the school closures brought on by the revolution, and the situation becoming even worse as many parents lost their occupation and saw their salaries cut as the country is slipping deeper and deeper into an economic crisis. It also finished with school closures on the 29th of February 2020 due to COVID-19 and a shift to remote learning. However, access to online learning and the digital infrastructure is altogether challenging for many children in Lebanon, since the internet availability is a considerable issue due to limited connectivity and constant power cutouts. The following year, 2020, 2021, started with also conflicts between guardians and private schools, as many parents were incapable of paying school expenses due to the undermining living condition and people's deposit being withheld by the banks. Furthermore, the Lebanese lira has lost an estimated 90% of its value, making the salary of a teacher now worth $1 to $2 per hour. This has resulted in frequent teacher strikes. The inflation and outage of basic resources, especially the shortage in fuel and gas needed for transportation and heating at school, have exacerbated the situation, making it difficult to assume a safe, systematic reopening of schools in September 2021. The absence of a comprehensive strategic vision from the Ministry of Education to deal with the calamity left the schools to organize themselves. Notably speaking, that till now, public schools are still closed. They are teachers are in strikes, and private schools, although open, they are on a threat of a closure. So in this paper, we try to find solutions for a safe and systematic reopening of schools, taking Abrar Educational Center as a case study. Now, why involving stakeholders in co-creating solutions? Simply because involving them in the process of, or in the visioning process can elicit benefits, including the enhanced rate of change, boost organizational recovery, and renew stakeholders' loyalty. And in the case of Abrar Educational Center, it's important that stakeholders renew their loyalty for the continuity of the school, its recovery from the crisis, and its contribution to a change in education in Lebanon. Also because both internal and external stakeholders think and work in various contexts, they are more likely to afford distinctive views on the issues and thus broaden the organization's views and understanding of the crisis and foster a joint commitment to possible ways of resolving the problems. A qualitative approach to the reality of the excitements and worries of stakeholders concerning reopening of Abrar Educational Center has been adopted in this study. We conducted a survey following a visible thinking framework with various stakeholders. 167 stakeholders participated in this survey. The survey followed a visible thinking pathway. Here researchers believe researchers such as Muller, Coulter, Fidler believe that visual thinking strategies reinforce critical thinking, and our suggestion here is that making thinking visible through the application of a thinking routine such as compass point has the potential to assist the stakeholders in articulating their thoughts and their understanding of the crisis. So what is a compass point? A compass point is a routine that explores various facets of a proposition before taking a stand. It asks for questions, and responses are recorded in the direction of the compass to provide a visual anchor. So E is for the excitement of the stakeholders on reopening of the school. W is for their worrisome about the reopening of schools and is the need or what they need to find out about reopening of school, and S is their steps or suggestions for moving forward. So as you can see in this study, the first question was, what excites you about the school year 2021-2022? And we can see that 31.1 said that nothing excites them. And this is a negative point. The excitement is very low. Learning in person, 22.4 are excited to learn in person at school, while 21.7 are excited about the continuity of education, no matter what, in presence or online or at school. We have also people concerned about or interested about the plannings given by the school to overcome challenging. We have people interested about the online learning, building social relationships, the technological advancement, and the public safety provided by the school to minimize the spread of the virus. The second question was about the worries, and it's clear that the high cost of living is a major cause of worry among stakeholders. Also, online learning causes some worry and stress on our stakeholders. We have some that are worried about school closures and their kids staying at home for the third consecutive year. For the what else do you need to know, or what are your questions concerning the new school year? We can see that 56.9 need to know about the strategy of teaching, whether it's online or in person or blended. We have 15% that need to know when the school will open, and also 15.6 need to know about the tuitions and school expenses. 4.6 need to know about the curriculum development, especially especially for cycle 1, where they are still learning to read and write. We have 0.6% that need to know about the plan of the Ministry of Education, which is still unclear, and 6% don't need to know anything about the school year. So in this findings, the last question was their suggestions, or what are their suggestions, or what should our next step be. So we can see here that 36.9 suggests that we start a school in presence, and we speed that up because we can gain now learning days at the school, since the weather is still warm before the frost comes, and we have to pay for more expenses such as heating. We have also the suggestion to continue school online, stakeholders asking for financial support from the school, people asking to update our curriculums to compensate the shortfalls of 2 years of online learning, people asking to raise awareness of the parents concerning online learning and to create plans for emergency. We have some suggesting that all the staff is vaccinated against COVID-19, and we have people asking us to postpone the school until things are clear. But notably, we have 25.6% asking us to cancel the school year just to put pressure on the government to find sustainable solutions for the crisis hitting the country. We have a suggestion to make our school a mobile one, where kids of a certain region gather on a certain place there, and teachers move from region to region to teach these kids. As we can see, the excitement of our stakeholders are very low, and this shows that they are not okay, and the crisis has affected them deeply, and they need mental health support. We can see that the needs to know the fate of the school year is very high, and their worries also the worries of stakeholders is very high. So we can say that this is affecting their suggestions in a way that they have high worries and low interest in the school year. So there are no creative suggestions. There are suggestions or stances in between. And this is a kind of limitation for our study. They have no incentive to create solutions or to continue the school year. Now, as a final part, we can say that visible thinking helped us in knowing the worries and excitements and the needs of our stakeholders. We could also see their suggestions, and thus we helped stakeholders in creating a deep understanding of the crisis. And this is something that helps in creating a culture of thinking among stakeholders. We see that engaging stakeholders is very important during a crisis in order for us to reach at a joint decision, and stakeholders now are part of our solution. So they have this commitment and this loyalty for the continuity of the school year. They are the ones that are supporting the school to continue. This survey have has assessed the needs and worries of our stakeholders. So we suggest that we tailor this information, that we use this information to tailor a clear communication that meet the expectations of the stakeholders and encourage them to support the school. For the decision-making process, it's very important that we involve all stakeholders, because we get ideas from different perspectives, and then we have to weigh this evidence in professional development, professional learning communities, and this is what was done at school. And then we have to choose the best alternative, and this Abrar Educational Center followed these steps and took the decisions in line with the suggestions of the stakeholders. So I hope that you have benefited from this experience, and thank you for listening.